Hello and welcome to the video version of my journal. I'm Stephanie Rivers. Come on in, kings and queens. I have something I want to talk with you about just for a moment. I wanted to share some information with you. If you are new to my videos, then welcome. If you are just coming back for a conversation, I want to welcome you back. Be sure to like this video and share it because I'm sure it's something that you will want to share. I'm going to talk to you today briefly about the elections coming up. I know a lot of us, black people and brown people in America, have decided that we're going to sit out the national presidential elections because we feel like the Democrats and the Republican parties are not speaking to us. Specifically, they don't have a black or brown platform. But there are a lot of local, statewide, regional elections that are up on us. And some states, in Texas, for example, early voting just started today. So in your state, they might have early voting. And I'm bringing that up because there are a lot of issues that are whoever is in office, those elected officials are going to be using your money, using my money, using our political power to make decisions about the school board and the education of our children or children in your family. They're going to be making decisions about community policing, whether to give the local police departments all the money that they've been getting or how to redirect that money. There's going to be other issues that, you drive up and down these streets, money is being spent on the infrastructure. There's a lot of reasons why even if you've decided you don't care about the national presidential election, there are a lot of reasons why we need to care about our local, regional, statewide elections because your tax dollars are going to be used whether or not you get involved or not. So you might as well be willing to ask questions. So the other day, I got a text I got two different texts from two different senatorial candidates who were in a runoff so they can run against John Cornyn, who is one of the Texas U.S. senators. And so don't know how those people got my phone number. Maybe, I was in the national registry or something. Anyway, they texted me, and this one person in particular, I'm not going to say his name, but essentially he is a state legislature, and he's running. He wants to be our next U.S. senator representing Texas. And he has like a long history of public office in Texas, in the Dallas area, representing the Dallas area. And nowadays they're doing Zoom calls as opposed to doing a town hall meeting in person for obvious reasons. It's quicker, it's easier, and COVID regulations and safety regulations are such that the Zoom call would be easier. So I said, they essentially, the text was like, please join the Zoom call so we can discuss what are some of the issues that you would want to discuss so you can see what his platform is. And so I went to his website, I went to the person's website, his opponent, that website, and I didn't see anything about reparations. Didn't see anything about holding people accountable who make false 911 calls. Didn't see anything about redirecting funds for community policing and away from local police departments as we know it now. There was a few issues on there that I thought, okay, he is on the right track. So I said, let me get on this call though, because I want to, if you are a black man, and I would just think that some of the issues. Now, I know I'm mature enough to realize that every issue that I care about is not going to be every black person's issue that they care about. I get that. But I do want to know what you, since you know, you texted me, you want me to vote for you. I want to know what you're going to do for me in exchange for my vote, which is what we all should be wanting to know. And that's why we are feeling so disrespected right now from major Democratic and Republican Party candidates, because we think we're being taken for granted. So I don't want you to take me for granted. I'm gonna tell you what I want. I want a quid pro quo. If you want my vote, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I want you to do. So I got on the Zoom call, and I started, if you've been on a Zoom call, you go to the bottom, you put your little questions in or comments in. It can go to everyone, or it can go to the specific person who's on the call. So I kept specifically addressing my questions to this African American 20-year politician who wants to be the next senator representing Texas. Not gonna say his name, but you can look it up if you want to. So anyway, I asked him about reparations. I asked him about police unions defending and blocking for these bully, liar, killer cops, and what was his plan to handle that. Would he be willing to represent black people in America and say that he was for reparations? I've asked him about the 911 calls, holding people accountable so they can be jailed or fined. I asked him about police brutality. So I'm putting all these things in my comments, and do you know, he never addressed them. But then one of the moderators, I guess you could say, she finally said something like, someone keeps talking, asking, wanting to know, what is your feeling on police unions covering for police officers that kill black and brown people? And so he, the candidate, said, yeah, I know that's an issue, and I've tried to address it, and they are just so powerful, these unions, and just kept going on like that and never really said, this is what I plan to do. And so I felt like he was kind of like bulldozing over issues that that are near and dear to my heart. And so I'm bringing all this up to say, just because somebody looks like you doesn't mean they are in your best interest as representing you in the political arena. And that's not to say that I'm going to go vote for his opponent. I'm just saying we need to ask more questions. We need to be vocal. We need to advocate for ourselves. There was somebody, I'm working on a documentary, and one of the things that this black man said to me was, because I asked him, what would you say to your 20-year-old self? Because he's like 40 something. What advice would you give to your 20-year-old self if you could? He said, I would say advocate for myself more. Ask for what I want and be willing to show why I deserve it. So that goes back to us, black people in America. We so used to not getting what we want, we quit asking for it. So we need to start advocating more for ourselves and our children and our families and our communities, and not just taking what people give us. And that's really all I want to say. I didn't watch the BET Awards show last night, but I did see where Bob Johnson, co-founder with his wife of BET, said that black people in America need to come up with their own political party because we are being ignored and taken advantage of by the two main political parties. And so I see why we don't want to vote. I understand why we don't want to vote on a national level as well as a local level, but There's too much at stake for us not to vote, especially on the local level where your tax dollars, you see your money at work most. So if the person in your area, your local council person, your governor, your city council, your school board member is not doing right by you and your community, then you need to run for office. You need to get up there and let them know, like the dude in Baton Rouge told Connie. If y'all didn't see that video, he said, I was going to talk about Robert E. Lee and how racist he is, but I'm going to talk about you, Connie. He told Connie right there because Connie was the one who was taking up the seat and not doing right by the people of Baton Rouge. So I know you got a Connie in your neighborhood, on your board, on your school board, in your city council. And if you got a Connie, you need to run against Connie. And we need to quit being so docile and just thinking things are going to work themselves out. Because 435 years later, we have realized it's not going to work itself out. So we need to advocate more for ourselves. So to find out more about the things that I care about, go to the written version of my journal at eurweb.com. Thank you so much and have a super day.